Hello and welcome to the discussion on the Ricardian model. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to compare the markets when there is no trade or autarky and open economies where there is trade. First we're going to this basically is identifying the areas that are affected in our consumer surplus, producer surplus model. So here what I do in order to determine my surplus without trade, I identify that my consumer surplus is the areas A, B, C, my producer surplus is the areas D, E, F, and I go ahead and I calculate the areas of the triangles. So that will be, for the triangles, that will be the height times the base times 1/2. So here my height is 9, my base is 100. I'll multiply that by 1/2. And when I do that for the areas, what I discover is that for my consumer surplus, I have surplus of 450, my producer surplus 400, and my total domestic surplus is 850. Now, if I want to enter into trade, let's say that the world price is $14. Notice that this changes the makeup of the market. Now, when we have the world price as $14, keep in mind suppliers will not sell that product to the domestic market for anything less than $14. So what they'll do is they'll limit the supply in the domestic market to the point where we have equilibrium at $14 and then export the rest. So here my consumer surplus falls to area A, but my producer surplus grows to B, C, D, E, F, I, and J. So we're going to capture this little area here. So then what I'll do is I'll calculate the area of this larger triangle. 14 minus 3, we have 11, and now we are producing at 120, and that gives us our producer surplus. So here we have calculated out the producer surplus and the consumer surplus and the market surplus in a market where we have full trade at a world price of 14. Next, what we'll do is we'll look at what happens when our world price falls to $9. Now, in this instance, consumers will not pay any more than $9. They won't buy from domestic makers if they know that they can get the price from an outside source for $9. And so that will essentially reduce the price for domestic suppliers, and that's going to cause some suppliers to have to close down shop, leave the market. Now, that means that our producer surplus has fallen to area E. However, our consumer surplus has grown to area A, B, C, D, F, H, and G. And so here, 20 minus 9, that gives us 11. Our quantity is 120. And what we get is a much larger producer surplus. A much larger consumer surplus and a much smaller producer surplus in this particular scenario. Now, we can see here that in either event, we have greater total surplus when there is trade. And this tends to be, or this is the reason why economists, politicians, business owners prefer trade, even in the event that it causes some dissatisfaction, that is higher prices for consumers when we export, and the potential of smaller industries, domestic industries, in the domestic market when there are imports.